And I'm Richard-Erik Jarvi.
And I'm Matty Gunner, and this is Class Action.
The merriest movie show on the interwebs.
Ooh, I like that.
Nailed it.
Hey,
we did it.
Did you? There's something missing from.
No. It was perfect. It was like once we freaking nailed the intro.
Okay. Oh, do you know why that is? I think I figured out how we did it. It's because Paul's not here. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Class Action. It's a festive special, as you can tell by Jarvi's Christmas jumper that he's wearing, which is very nice.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho. Yep. And shout out everyone in the chat. William Harold in the chat, as always. Two of my favorite films with Die Hard is special. Time out every year, so Hans hits the ground right a bit. Damn. I gotta start.
I've never done this thing. I keep hearing people doing the New Year's thing and like the midnight like big scene thing. I've never done it.
I did see a meme saying it's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls out of Nakatomi Plaza. Yeah. So I feel like I need to start making this a tradition. Haskell in the chat, what's up, Ed? Lego, I haven't seen you for a while. All right, I'm home early to say Lethal Weapon wins. Thank you for your time. Well, we hope you're going to give us some more of your time because, as we know, as me and Jarvi got fired from this show, it's not always the best film that wins.
Yeah, that happened with Alien Resurrection. Alien Resurrection versus what we're doing, Alien 3? Yeah, that happened.
Yeah,
I mean,
that...
it's the categories, man. This is something that usually, like, when you think one movie is better than the other, you go with your gut feeling, you go with what's your favorite. But I think that's the freaking beauty of the categories is they break it down objectively. And that can be a painful thing. This is why I'm so glad
the patrons don't get a say in what categories we pick, because I'm sure if we let the patrons or the regular viewers suggest the category, actually that might be a good thing to start doing in the new year. If we add some more chaos. Yo, shout out Matt Munoz. What's up, buddy? He's here with Lego.
What's up, Matt? Haven't seen him here before.
Yeah, Matt's cool, good guy. So first time viewer, good to have him here. And of course, Chris, though.
There he is.
Damn, the one time I tune in late knowing you'll be late, you're not late.
Dude, do you know why that is? I love PLD, but he's usually a bit late starting the show. Love you, bro. But do you see what happens when the Europeans run the show? Freaking on the dot, man.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we run a tight ship, me and Jarvi. When it's just us two, we run a tight ship. But speaking of a tight ship, let's get on to our game that we love to start off with. You guys would have seen he crashed our show last week, which was incredible. What would Ed Harris play? This is a game where we recast every movie that we discuss, every franchise we discuss. We take the greatest character actor of all time, according to PLD. Some may say it's.
I mean, he's good. He's good.
He's okay. He's okay. But we recast him in the projects that we're talking about. Jarvi, I don't know if you
or make up a new role for him. So this is usually
up a new role for him.
This is usually the funnest game that we do here, and since PLD felt like he needs to freaking crash our show, we are crashing his show now, and we are doing an audible. We're not doing what would Ed Harris play.
Oh, this is going to be the second sackable offense in a month.
For the first time in the history of this show, we're doing what would Tom Cruise play? Yes, sir. Tom Cruise in 80s action movies, and pretty much the rules are the same. We just recast Tom Cruise, whoever the fuck we want, or make up a new role for him because he can freaking do it.
Should we do Tom Cruise, or because I feel like Lego's in the chat, should we do what would Nick Cage play?
Are you pulling an audible on my audible?
I think I'm pulling an audible on your audible.
I mean, I never pretty much prepare for this, so I could do
I haven't prepared for this. So
you haven't?
No.
Let's do Cage. All right, fuck it, we're doing Cage. Because I prepped for Cruise. I didn't prep for Cage. But I think I can still do it.
It's the holiday season, still kind of. People still have their trees and stuff up. So I'm feeling giving. We're gonna give the people what they want. The people being Lego. We're gonna do what would Nick Cage play? Oh, and look. Who's here? You're both fired. You're not even in the stream, bro. So if anyone should be fired, it should be you for not even showing up today.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Paul, you're not even supposed to be here today. What are you doing in the chat?
Yeah, isn't he on call?
Yeah, but what can you do?
Anyway, Nick Cage.
What would Nick Cage play? Let's
Lethal Weapon.
Oh, I feel like there's only one you could go with. It's got to be Joshua, right? You swap out Gary Busey, Nick Cage.
Man.
Who else can match that level of like Gary Busey level of crazy?
I mean, I wouldn't. It kind of hurts to recast Gary Busey, but I do get your point of him being crazy enough to do it.
Yeah, I feel like that's the perfect role.
Don't be ridiculous. Look at the hardware.
And then you get at the end like a cool, like really shitty karate fight between.
Yeah, super slow. Like he can do the slow punching.
Yeah, but then you get that karate fight between Mel Gibson and Nick Cage at the end. Dude, that'd be super fucking sweet.
Have they ever played in a movie together?
I don't think they have. Lego can neither confirm nor deny if they have. Lego, tell us in the chat, have Nick Cage and Gary Busey been in a movie together? Okay.
All right.
While we're waiting on that, who are you picking? Where's Nick Cage going in Lethal Weapon?
I'm gonna recast him probably as the weakest part of the movie, and that's the general. Ooh. I think he was kind of your every villain in any other action movie. So I think Nick Cage would have freaking just devoured every scene, enjoyed it, played the mustache twirling villain, the general. Yeah. I think he could have done a better job. I think it was like Mitchell Ryan. Yeah. He isn't doing that much in the movie, and I think Nick Cage can only freaking make that role better and make the villain better.
Yeah. And if we were playing Ed Harris, like there's only one role. If there's a general in a movie, that's the role you give Ed Harris. But like I said, not to my knowledge. So Cage and Busey have never that. Could you imagine an unbearable weight of massive talent on Gary Busey?
Oh no!
Oh no! That needs to happen.
I think we've missed the boat now. I think he's like too. I think he's too far gone now.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Reefism here agreeing with me. Nick Cage, Mr. Joshua, or the guy who wanted to commit suicide.
Oh, that'd be great. That actually would be pretty awesome. Because the guy who was on the roof, he was overdoing it, but in like the perfect way, the most like 80s action movie way. He was like way overacting. But Nick Cage's overacting is more enjoyable though.
Yeah,
I mean, it has to be.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so Nick Cage in Die Hard.
That is harder. Pun intended.
No, I will give you. I think I would put Nick Cage as the. I can't remember. Was it the CIA or the FBI or Homeland Security? Whatever fucking
FBI. The two Johnsons.
The two Johnsons, right? He would be the white Johnson, the one that's like got the massive gun hanging outside the side of the helicopter.
Like in Saigon.
Yeah, like in Saigon. That guy. I'm putting Cage as him.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna switch it up. They're gonna like actually like get to the top of the Nakatomi Plaza building and start like just shooting everyone down. So it's not Bruce Willis that saves the day. It's Nick Cage.
Oh, okay. So he's actually because they are pretty much like they're almost like villains in the movie.
Yeah.
Because they're like, yeah, it's like 20 to 25%. We can live with the casualties of these kinds of hostages.
Nick Cage is that Argyle.
You know, I can see that, but I can see him playing Ellis, the douche co-worker. But like recasting Ellis kind of feels like, you know, sacrilege. I think he's such a great shit weasel.
I could see Cage being Argyle for the bit where he's talking to the chick on the phone and he's like, "Oh no, my boss thinks I'm on the way to Vegas."
Well, that's the line. That's the line you could sell.
That's the line that would sell me on Cage. That's the line that would sell me on Cage. Okay, so who we got here? POD is agreeing with Chris though. He should play the douche coworker in Die Hard, doing coke and stuff. Yeah. Lego says, I was thinking Cage is a limo driver too. Arga. Yep. Yep. Okay. So we're all in the same kind of ballpark. Okay. This is cool. We should do different actors for the recasting. I mean, we've been talking about it for the longest time. And
someone would have thought of that. PLD, come on. Actually, it was his idea to start doing a wheel or something. But we'll see what happens.
We need to start making that one.
Yeah.
Wait. I mean, I feel like saying Hans Booby.
Booby.
Oh God, I hate that prick.
Right. I would make up a new role for Cage in Die Hard.
Go on.
I would have Cage just show up.
Creative flag guy.
Show up beside Bruce Willis out of nowhere. He's like another survivor, or he's someone who's trying to escape the building but got away from the group. He meets up with Bruce Willis, but it's not the Bill Clay scene. It's not the double cross right there. But Bruce Willis teams up with him. They take out a few guards, whatever. Something happens, but Hans Gruber has been on top of his game every step of the way. So then a moment comes where John McClane starts to get the upper hand, and then Nick Cage shoots Bruce Willis in the shoulder, and it turns out he was planted by Hans Gruber as the double cross because he knew something like this would happen, just like he knew he needed the FBI to show up. He's been ahead of the curve every step of the way. So Nick Cage is planted by Hans Gruber.
I like that.
Double cross.
The double. In and out burger, the double.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think we can't really declare a winner. I think we'll let the chat. Chat, you can declare who is the winner for this week. Who won the recasting for Nick Cage for this week? It would be myself or Jarvi. We won't take offense. Like if you pick,
I will.
I mean, Jarvi will, but I'll be okay with it because Jarvi normally fucking knocks it out the park. Anyway, so that is our game for this week. I love that we did that off the fly because I think that was pretty. Oh, dude.
Yeah, that's better. That's better. Oh. The reporter, yeah, he would have. Yeah, he would have nailed the reporter.
Yeah.
What was the guy's name in the movie? I can't remember the name. He had like a douchey name as well. But that role is freaking awesome as well. Like he's like the next
Nick Cage is Simon Gruber. Nick Cage is Simon Gruber. That sets up Nick Cage as the villain in Die Hard with a Vengeance. Only Nick Cage could save Die Hard with a Vengeance.
You don't like Die Hard with a Vengeance?
I'm not a fan.
Ooh, the third one's actually pretty damn good. That's a good movie.
I might need to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, it's. I think it's something we could do on the show at some point. Die Hard 3 versus, I don't know, Lethal Weapon 3. We can keep doing what we've been doing with the Alien franchise. No, actually, Alien franchise. We put Alien against one another, or we can do something with Die Hard 3. We'll think of something.
We could keep doing Die Hard versus Lethal Weapon. Your Die Hard 2 versus Lethal Weapon 2.
We could. It might get stale for some people though. I hope it won't.
Maybe.
We could keep doing it, but this week we're doing Die Hard, the first one, versus Lethal Weapon, the first one. Richard-Donner versus John McTiernan. There we go. There we go. So we got 5.
Because I
was like,
I could not remember. So thankful you. So for people who may be joining us, people like Matt Munoz who like never tuned into the show before. Jarvi, what is class action?
This is where we take 2 movies, actors, franchises, or even directors. We put them up against one another in 5 custom-made categories in a steel cage battle to the death. One movie gets wiped from existence. Not really though, but in our heads it does. So usually, we try to take movies which are very well comparable to one another. And I mean, Die Hard versus Lethal Weapon, can it get more primal than this.
No, this is. I put out a tweet earlier. Like this one could get ugly. Like this one could get really, and I feel that's why PLD took this week off, because he knew that this one could get real ugly real quick.
He couldn't handle the pressure.
No, and we have 5 custom-made categories. Again, thankfully, the patrons have no say in the categories. Otherwise, it would just be manic. But Jarvi, if you want to take us through the categories.
Oh yeah, the first one is better hero or heroes. Next one is better villain. Third one is better story premise. Fourth one, better action. And fifth one, this one we've never done before. Which works better as a Christmas movie? The better Christmas movie. So since this is our Christmas episode, we got to do it. So honestly, I didn't even know that Lethal Weapon was a Christmas movie, because I hadn't rewatched it in such a long time. Like, it's been such a long time. I watched it twice during this past week, because I really wanted to, like, because Die Hard I watch every Christmas. That's something I do every Christmas. So I was like, you guys want to do Lethal Weapon versus Die Hard for their Christmas episode? And I mean, it is a Christmas movie, so it works.
So we're going to get into that. Our first category, though, Jarvi, I'm going to let you start off with this one.
Better hero. Better hero. So this one we talked about. We should probably talk about when we're talking about Die Hard. We should still talk about Al Powell as well, the cop that's down at the Nakatomi Plaza helping John McClane as he goes.
The man on the ground.
I mean, the man on the ground, the man in the chair, so to speak. Because Martin,
the man in the car seat.
Because Martin Riggs versus Roger Murtaugh, I mean, they are the body cop duo, and it would only seem fair to do Die Hard the same way. So I'll just blow my load right off the top. I am not going with Die Hard on this one. I think Lethal Weapon has the better heroes in this one. Not because it's 2 of them, Riggs and Murtaugh. I think John McClane, he's a little too cool. He starts off, he's too cool. Like he has all the right words. He's always in charge of the situations that he's in. I mean, he's a freaking awesome. He's one of the greatest action heroes, like every man action hero. But the one thing that I really love about Lethal Weapon more than Die Hard is the fact that, I mean, Riggs is completely off the hinges. That is like Crazy Gibson at his best. Pair that with Roger Murtaugh, Danny Glover, who is sort of your, I mean, like seasoned veteran trying to, coast his way to retirement without getting killed. And you pair that up with Riggs, who has a freaking death wish flying into every situation. He pretty much almost kills himself at the start of the movie. I mean, such a great arc for Riggs. So I think even Riggs alone kind of carries the lead category better for me. But I got to give Die Hard credit that Al Powell has way more to do in the movie than I originally remembered. I thought it was like all freaking Bruce Willis in this. No. Not really, because the way they freaking meet at the very end, they hug, they laugh. It's, I mean, such an endearing moment. But
they meet without, like, they've never seen each other.
No. But they recognize it. They even look each other from afar. Then they just freaking walk together. It's a beautiful moment. But I mean, Riggs and Murtaugh, these dudes are, I mean, a classic pair up. And what really pushes it over the edge is Crazy Gibson. His arc in Lethal Weapon 1 is what makes this movie take the category for me. And I can't believe I'm going against John McClane here.
I cannot believe my ears right now, because, I mean, this is such a close category, because, like, John McClane is so iconic. Like, the white wife beater vest, I've got a machine gun now, ho ho ho. Like, the one-liners he delivers are absolutely priceless. You think 80s action movie, you want to hear those one-liners, like when he's on the roof talking to the operator on the radio over the private signal, and she's like, "This is for emergencies only," and he's like, "No fucking shit, lady. Do I sound like I want to order a pizza?" I was just like, that is so 80s, so cheese action, but listening to you give your point, I think I kind of have to agree because
yes,
he is essentially, he is just another John Wayne. He is just another Rambo. He is just another Marshall Dillon. And Kelly, I see your point here. The whole point is McClane was an everyman. He's not an everyman. Like
he's a little too cool and too able, right?
But an everyman wouldn't be able to go through an entire skyscraper full of bad guys killing everyone. Like, I can fight. I wouldn't be able to do that. Like,
Kevin McAllister would be able to do that.
Kevin McAllister would be able to do that. Oh, dude, imagine Die Hard and Home Alone mashup. That'd be great.
There was actually there was a discussion on Empire podcast. Could Kevin McAllister defeat Bruce Willis in Nakatomi Plaza?
We're gonna come back to that. But you have, like, there's also a glaring hole in the first Lethal Weapon, in the fact that there is no Leo Getz. In the first Lethal Weapon, we don't have Leo Getz.
He's not the hero, though. He's not the hero.
He's a hero to me. He's a hero to me. So they're kind of at a disadvantage. But what you said about Al Powell is like, he has that deeper backstory of why did he get put back to a desk job? Because he shot that kid who was reaching for something and he thought it was a gun. That's a very real world situation. That's a dangerously real world situation. And that's why it's like such a punch in the chest. So I would say, like, they're neck and neck. But to quote our good friend PLD, I think it's the quantity of the quality in this case. And I feel like the dynamic between the two, like Riggs just being out of his mind and Murtaugh being like the straight-laced guy on the twilight of his career, gets pulled back in by this crazy dude. Yeah, I gotta go. I think I gotta go with Lethal Weapon with this one. It's tough.
I think,
don't get me wrong. Like, I see people in the chat already getting outraged, so we're probably gonna get fired again. But
no. Making tough decisions is what class action is all about, dude. You gotta sacrifice your own beliefs for the greater good.
I'm living for this Leo Getz love right now. Leo is my hero. Okay. Back up. Yep. This is very true, actually. Die Hard plus Home Alone equals Violent Night. Have you seen Violent Night?
Yeah. It was such a fun watch. That movie, like, Violent Night needs a sequel, but we'll get to that. Next category.
Backstory. You want backstory? Riggs lost his wife and you said you don't want to be that way.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
May I take off this next category?
You, for sure. Better villain. Go ahead, Matty.
I said that I have a grand statement to make about one of these movies, and I'm about to make it. Alan Rickman as Hans Gruber has the greatest cinematic debut, most influential cinematic debut of all time in Die Hard. This was his first cinematic role, and look at
that was his first movie?
That was his first movie. He did a couple of TV movies. He did some TV appearances. But Die Hard was his first movie.
Okay, continue.
Okay, so allow me to continue. Look at all of the villains that have been inspired by Hans Gruber from this point. You got Cyrus the Virus, Howard was it Harold Payne or Howard Payne from Speed?
I don't know the name of the villain, but
again, very Hans Gruber. He's very, like, calculating, like, constantly like one or two steps ahead of everyone else. Cyrus the Virus, Ivan from Air Force One, like Hans Gruber laid out the blueprint for all these iconic villains. Alan Rickman as Hans Gruber is probably now the reason that us Brits get cast as the calculating villain role that's wearing either a suit or some kind of like Nazi or Imperial uniform. And honestly, the greatest fucking tragedy is I will never get to see Alan Rickman play Grand Admiral Thrawn, because he was my absolute like fan cast to play Thrawn was Alan Rickman. and like every line of dialogue that he
Mhm.
executes is just cold and ruthless and precise. He's absolutely perfect. Yeah, there you go. This was
I
Rickman's
did
first
not know
movie.
that. I just looked it up. Yeah, he's done TV movies and TV shows. That is crazy that that's his first credit, like actual real credit.
And if you go on his IMDb page, there is not a single Harry Potter movie in is known for. The first
That can't
one
be
is
right.
Die Hard. This is the role he's known for, and it's his cinematic debut. And I'm
Die
sorry, you
Hard,
got to
Robin
pick.
Hood, Prince of Thieves, Galaxy Quest, and Sweeney Todd. What the fuck?
He was pretty damn good in Sweeney Todd. But like, I'm sorry, you put that up against Gary Busey. Get the fuck out of here! Like anyone that wants to make that argument, lose my number. Like,
Yeah,
but I have a feeling you're about to try it.
dude, there's no trying this. I mean, I think there's only a handful, and I mean, 5 movies that have better villains than Die Hard.
Ooh.
Like Hans Gruber is considered as one of the greatest cinematic villains ever. Like you said it yourself. I mean, Gary Busey, like even if you put it up against another movie, Gary Busey does a solid job. He's dangerous. He has a few great lines. I mean, he's menacing, like the way he's also like the Special Forces Green Beret, like Riggs is. He kind of has a cool final fight, but I don't know. Eventually, he's a little forgettable. And I think the general that could be considered like the actual like villain because Gary Busey's Joshua is he's actually the henchman. He's like the first lieutenant of the general, but I think
like,
the
no,
general is
who
even
cares about the general?
right. So pretty much why I watched the movie twice was I couldn't really remember anything about the villain. So yeah, this is we're definitely in unison here. There's no going against Alan Rickman as Hans Gruber. I mean, the way he talks, the way he walks, the way he presents himself, he's the mustache twirling villain, but he does it in the best possible way. I mean, he's seen when he goes full Bill Clay. I think that is like an acting masterclass.
He just switches up the accent and like he starts acting drunk, and
yeah.
I'm just like, and the bit where he's talking to I forget his fucking name. It's just gone from my brain.
With Holly or one of the henchmen?
No, the main guy who runs the company. Who owns the company?
Oh no, I think it's Takagi or something.
Takagi, something along those lines. It fucking escapes me. But he's just like, you'll have to kill me. He just goes, okay, and just shoots him in the head, point blank. Like even now, I'm like, whoa, Takagi, thank you. But
and he does it so effortlessly. Like he's just we
but
go with Plan B.
Switch to being Bill Clay, and then he can like switch back. Dude, Alan Rickman is once in a generational talent. We will never, ever see someone like him ever again. And like, yeah, for it to be his debut, his movie debut.
I did not know that.
He goes down as arguably the greatest villain of all time in his first movie. There's there's no arguing against it. But
for that villain alone, I feel like Die Hard could deserve the win, but we're not there yet.
That's why Gruber ranks as much higher all-time villain than McClane ranks as an all-time hero. Yeah.
I mean, McClane is the fact that we both gave the hero category to Lethal Weapon. I mean, that is not by much. That is by a hair. Because John McClane, like, that's Bruce Willis's most iconic role for sure.
And just like the level of fear when John like realizes now Hans knows his name. And like he can tell him who his family is and everything. It's just like, oh shit. And he got kicked out of the fucking terrorist group for being too radical.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Anyway, let's move on to the next category.
Third category, better story. So which movie has the better story or premise?
Okay. This is where things might get a little hairy.
This one was an easy one for me.
You tell.
Yeah, I think for me, well, I don't think I know. Lethal Weapon for me feels story-wise a little too all over the place. I mean, I had to watch the movie twice to kind of get like what was the story actually about? There was the girl jumped down the window, she was actually murdered, there's some heroin, there's something going on back and forth, something about money, porn, heroin again, shootouts, shit goes down. And I was like, okay,
Basically,
what
a
the fuck
week in
is happening?
LA.
Yeah, a week. Like it tries to be a complex story, and it is, but it doesn't really differentiate from any other 80s action movie. And I don't mean that in a like it can be considered a negative, but it doesn't do anything badly in that sense. But you put it up against Die Hard, which is, I mean, the story's straight to the point. It's compact. It's a tight storytelling. It's one single setting. Man goes into a building, terrorists take over. He has to fight against them to save his wife. I mean, it's executed to perfection. There is no fat in this movie. The story is just, I freaking love how straight to the point it is. And with Lethal Weapon, I had to try to really remember what the story was about.
Yeah. Okay.
So this one was an easy pick for Die Hard.
Okay, you're giving it to Die Hard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. See, I thought we were both going to go different ways here. I thought you were going to take Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, no.
But I guess we're both going the same way because I'm also giving this to Die Hard. Now, before anyone comes, and I get where people may think the story is Riggs's redemption and, you know, him finding that connection. We're going to get to that, but that's not really the main story. The main story is the porn and the heroin and the special forces and porn, heroin, and special forces. That's
how you sell. That's the elevator pitch.
That is the pitch. But like even like I was saying here, I agree with Jarvi. Lethal Weapon is more character driven. The plot takes kind of a back seat. How many movies have tried to replicate what Die Hard has done? Sudden Death, Olympus Has Fallen,
Speed,
Under Siege,
Die Hard on a Bus,
Toy Soldiers,
Speed,
Air Force One. Like Die Hard is one of those stories.
Skyscraper. Do you know a studio exec said Skyscraper? It's like Die Hard, but in a building.
Fuck off! They did not say that.
That was said. That is an actual line said by a studio exec promoting Skyscraper. It's like Die Hard, but in a building.
Moving on. It's Die Hard is one of those things like you can duplicate it, but you could never, ever, ever, ever replicate it. Ever.
Oh, well said.
You could do Die Hard on a plane. You could do Die Hard on a train. You could do Die Hard on some other automobile. Like, it will never be Die Hard. But there is one. If I had to recommend one to you guys that like there's like a little bit of an offshoot. Jet Li did a movie called. When I saw it for the first time, it was called Meltdown, but I think they've changed the name in the West to High Risk, where it's basically he starts out as like a military like captain or something, and he has to save his wife and a school bus full of children from a terrorist bomb threat by this guy called the Doctor, and he fails. Spoiler alert! But it's the opening fucking scene of the movie. So he becomes a stuntman for this guy who is essentially a fake Jackie Chan. But like everyone thinks that he does his own stunts. He's an actual martial artist, but like he uses Jet Li's character to do all his like major stunts. Anyway, they go to like this diamond exhibit, and like the same guy, the Doctor, the terrorist, is also in the building with all his crew and his goonies. And it essentially becomes Die Hard, and Jet Li has to fight his way up the skyscraper. He has to get help from the cops, but they don't want to help him. It is essentially Die Hard, but with Jet Li. And if anyone hasn't seen it, I highly recommend it. It is pretty awesome. Oh,
High Risk.
Remembrance of Die Hard.
Oh, for sure. I mean, every action movie, like really, every action movie has somehow taken from Die Hard.
And I would say The Raid is better than Die Hard. But
Dude,
that's another
I
conversation.
mean, that's a sentence. We have
Okay.
to. We got to do something with The Raid at some point. But yeah, we're going both with Die Hard on this one.
That makes Dread Die Hard as well.
Oh, for sure. No. Actually, Dread is The Raid. Think about it. Dread is The Raid.
Go on.
The new Dread. Like, it's a freaking mega building, and it goes floor to floor. He just goes
It's a mega structure. It's Moonfall.
It's it's not Moonfall. You said that way too excitedly.
Yeah, for someone who apparently hates... yeah. But you were right that we do have to do something with The Raid, and it's William Harrow did see it. Cool. It was called Snakes on a Plane. Die Hard. Fill in the blank. If you could do a Die Hard, a Die Hard that has never been put somewhere before, where would you do? Where would you do Die Hard on a what?
I want to say Submarine, but I'm sure that's been done.
I don't know. I don't know if it has.
I'm sure it has. I mean, Crimson Tide is not Die Hard on a submarine, but The Hunt for Red October, maybe? At some point. Where haven't we done?
Die Hard in
space?
Die Hard in a bookstore.
Well, that would just be, I mean, that would be Read Hard.
Jesus Christ.
Read Hard.
What is it?
Fourth category, better action.
Yeah, better action.
Better action. I mean, Matty, this category has Gunner written all over it.
I know, this one was so difficult for me. This one was so tough. Oh. See, the action in Die Hard, I can't even say the action in Die Hard is sloppier than Lethal Weapon, because they are both just like all over the place. Like the shootouts in Die Hard are really cool, but like the choreography is all over the shop. And like I love the moment where I can't remember the dude with the long blonde hair, but when Bruce Willis ties him with the chain and then pushes him and then shoots him. That's pretty cool.
I think it's one of the brothers is called Carl. I don't know what the other.
I think it is Carl.
Yeah.
And there's the bit where like the guy's standing on top of him, on top of the desk, and what is it? He's like shooting down.
That is kind of funny though. Yeah.
What does he say?
Yeah, he's just like, "I'll get you," or so you can't get away from me.
Yeah, something like that. And like Bruce just shoots him, and he just goes, "Hey, great advice." It's just like the action didn't really, it was kind of all over the shop, but with Lethal Weapon, it was the perfect kind of action that you want from an 80s bombastic, just out there action movie. Like the scene where Riggs is being tortured and he's being like had water thrown on him and he's being electrocuted and he uses his feet to break the dude's neck.
He Tom Cruises it.
Who did it first, him or Tom?
That's Tom Cruise in Ghost Protocol.
Oh shit! So Tom got that
when he breaks out of the prison.
You're
at
right.
The start of the Ghost Protocol, he does the leg hitch and then he pulls himself off. That's Tom Cruises it.
And Tom Cruise must have got that from. He must have got that from Lethal Weapon. Oh, dude, that solves it. But I will say, the fight at the end between Joshua and Riggs, not great. Not great. When Crazy Gibson starts doing like all the like the Tai Chi moves and stuff, I'm like, dear God, dude, please stop. And then like you see Gary Busey, I hope it's Gary Busey that threw it, because if a stunt double threw a spinning heel kick the way that Joshua threw it, it just looked terrible. Like he couldn't even get his leg halfway up. So which is why I'm assuming it's Gary Busey. It was just terrible, but at the time being a kid, I was like, man, that's so cool. Like Mel Gibson's beating him up. Like, this is awesome. But like watching it back now, I'm like, that's not great. But even like I would say the action of like Riggs just being willing to shoot himself in the mouth at any point, and he's talking about, he's like, oh yeah, I've got a hollow tip just saved straight for myself, so I know it'll blow the back of my head out. I'm like, dude, that's pretty gnarly. So I gotta give it Lethal Weapon.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that, to be honest, but knowing you and knowing your like fight choreography analysis, yeah, I get your ruling, but I'm gonna argue with you here a little. I think the moments that you described in Lethal Weapon, I mean, the torture scene, the way when he wants to shoot himself, those are all scenes that are mixed in between the action. Because these are pretty like sort of low-key moments that are awesome. Like one of the coolest scenes I think in Lethal Weapon is the roof jumper. Like when he goes on the roof, he saves, they both jump down, and then what follows, the scene where Riggs and Murtaugh have like the first heart-to-heart, when Murtaugh finally like gets what he's doing. They like Riggs tells him his traumatic story. I mean, that's a great moment, but it's not an action scene. And another one, like the shooting range, when Riggs and Murtaugh like go head to head with like shooting the target, like freaking one of the best scenes in the movie. Not really an action scene.
Really?
So when you think about like, because I don't think it's an action, because they're just practicing at the firing range. When I think like the big action scenes, I think the when Riggs gets shot in the chest with the shotgun and like the chase follows, the big final showdown at the desert, the torture scene. Those are all the big action scenes. And what like really happened when the big action started, I kind of wanted to look at my phone. And it didn't happen at these moments when we were sort of like, when Riggs and Murtaugh were going like, you know, their back and forth was happening. When the big action started to go down, I was kind of, okay, all right, that's a big action sequence. I'm on board because I freaking love the actors and the characters, but it's not the action that's gripping me. I think when it comes to Die Hard, every confrontation and every action moment felt special to me. And it was like, it was earned, it was gripping. And I'll be honest, like hearing you talk about like the way that Die Hard has sort of aged, to me, it really hasn't. I mean, it has aged because it's like old timey fighting at times, but I'm like,
it's old white guy fighting.
Nothing. It is. It is for sure. But it never let go of my attention. It was always like adrenaline fueled, like nonstop action thriller ride, quoting Action Movie Anatomy. So there was not a single moment during the action that made me want to pick my phone up. So I don't know. I got to go with Die Hard. I feel like Lethal Weapon had the best sort of in between moments, but the action sequences in Die Hard, they seamlessly worked into the action scenes. And it didn't feel like, okay, this is over, this is happening. It was always interwoven and always had my attention. So got to go with Die Hard here.
Okay. Next category.
Oh my God. The final one. Which works better as a Christmas movie, or which is the better Christmas movie?
This is tough.
That's a category we've never done before.
We've never done this before.
Yeah. Because I'll be honest, I didn't know Lethal Weapon was a full-on Christmas movie like it was, but I do agree, it really is. I do think though that Die Hard leans into the Christmas bit a little more.
Right. I mean, they market it
as zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
For the 30th anniversary, like the re-release of Die Hard for the 30th year anniversary, the tagline was the greatest Christmas movie of all time.
It is. It's like the zeitgeist has sort of made Die Hard into, I think, a bigger Christmas movie than Lethal Weapon. And it's kind of unfair towards Lethal Weapon. I mean, both movies are set in LA. They're not very Christmassy towns, though. Neither of them are very Christmassy, because New York is way more Christmassy. You can actually have snow there. You can like sort of, I don't know.
Although you say that, I went to Vegas once and there was snow in Vegas for a day, so it is possible.
It snows in Vegas?
Very, very rarely, but yeah.
But yeah, I think the zeitgeist and the fact that Lethal Weapon, I mean, the fact that Die Hard is mostly set during the nighttime, that makes it more Christmassy to me. And you know what? When Die Hard ends and like Holly and John drive off, I remembered that it started snowing for some reason in my head. So I rewound. I looked the scene up today again. I was like, okay, it's not actually snowing right there, but it felt like it could be snowing. And the ending was a little Home Alone-y for me.
Okay.
The way it ends, it goes very Home Alone, that one. I think Lethal Weapon, the fact that it's all over town, that it happens during the daytime, that sort of takes the Christmassy feel out of it. And they both end on like the Christmas tune, but the zeitgeist, the fact that it happens during the night, and the very Home Alone ending for Die Hard, I gotta pick Die Hard for the better Christmas movie.
There we go. We need to take this into account. William Harold started at 9:57 and 32 seconds p.m. That's when we need to start Die Hard going in the future. Lethal Weapon has Jingle Bell Rock.
Hans Gruber Falls. It does. That's right. It does.
Try and get him to his family for Christmas. This is true. And this is where we're gonna disagree. I'm saying Lethal. I'm giving this.
Oh, you're going with Lethal Weapon as a better Christmas movie?
Wow. I'm going with Lethal Weapon as a better Christmas movie because while Die Hard may be the bigger Christmas movie, I don't think it's the better Christmas movie because it's set. Die Hard set. What makes it Christmassy mostly is it's set at a Christmas party, and it's set. It's set around the Christmas time. I don't even think if it's set on Christmas Eve, but with Lethal Weapon, you get to see more than one side of Christmas. You don't just, I get that Die Hard gets like all the attention, but you have Murtaugh who's surrounded by a big loving family. Everyone loves him.
That's true.
And there's also that darker side to the holiday season where like you have people who are very lonely, people who, suffer in silence, who may be dealing with loss, maybe dealing with stress, like people, even like the guy who was going to jump, like people who are even feeling suicidal, and like they suffer in silence with it because they don't want to be a burden to the people who are like Murtaugh that have that massive family base around them that, they feel like a burden. But, the holidays and Christmas and everything, it's all about second chances and family and forgiveness and all that stuff. And I mentioned it earlier, but when we were talking about the plot, what symbolizes Christmas more than Riggs finding a second family?
Heroin.
Murtaugh and his family. Riggs is I don't even want to say redemption, but like him finding himself again, not being like, he is still Crazy Gibson. Let's not get that twisted. He will always be Crazy Gibson, but he finds that loving family again. When he thought he lost it and he was ready to end it all because he thought he lost it. He thought he was never going to feel that love again. And he has, just from Murtaugh and his family. And very creepily from Murtaugh's teenage daughter, which is very weird.
Oh, that was... What the fuck was that?
That was really fucking... I think that was their attempt at being...
Do they hook up at some point later?
No, I don't think they do. I hope they don't, because that's really weird. Oh, no, because she gets with Chris Rock's character.
Oh, does she?
In Lethal Weapon 4.
That's fourth.
Yeah. So... But I think that was their way of trying to push Crazy Gibson to be like this heartthrob with the lush hair, and it just was kind of creepy. But yeah, I'm giving it a Lethal Weapon because it shows the other side of Christmas. It's not just family together. Was it Bruce Willis says we'll get together, have a few laughs. Like there's more to Christmas than that.
Come to the coast, love you for laughs.
There you go. She marries Chris Rock later. They do not hook up.
No, there is no Lethal Weapon 5 or 6.
Yeah, William Harrell just wrote that. Lethal Weapon 4. Yeah. Okay, so.
But yeah, I do like your argument for the Lethal Weapon though. It did make it feels like Die Hard is the easier choice, and I went with the easier choice. But I do like your argument for it, and I think Die Hard has the sort of redemption story there as well, because John McClane is trying to get his wife back, Holly. It's not Holly Gennaro anymore. It's Holly McClane.
Yeah.
A simpler story for sure.
She just has a crush on him, which is natural. It's a sign of comedy tension. Yeah, there is that. I just thought it was kind of creepy because she's like a teenager and he's like an older man. So, Shane Black, he wins Christmas.
Oh yeah, that's true. Do you know Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is also a Christmas movie?
It is, yeah. We got to do something with Kiss Kiss Bang Bang at some point because I love that movie. So we got to do something.
Chris Bang Bang.
What's that?
I heard you said Chris Bang Bang.
Oh no, I said Kiss Kiss Bang.
That's Will Smith's next movie. Chris Bang Bang. Oh no, I'm gonna get canceled.
I thought you were the one that said never bring that up again. Whenever me and Paul bring up the slap heard around the world, you get mad at us.
I think the stream froze. I don't know what happened just a few seconds ago. Something happened.
Weird. Maybe it was one of our internets. Who knows? Yeah. But that's everything. That's our categories, I believe. I
hope you did keep score.
I did.
So, drum roll.
You ready?
We have our votes in. I've got no clue actually, because we went back and forth.
At a score of 6-4, your winner by way of knockout, Die Hard.
Oh yeah, there we go. I mean, that's Die Hard's my choice. The one I would have picked. I was a little worried.
Yeah,
I was a little worried.
I think that I prefer Die Hard as a movie. Like I love Lethal Weapon, but like if we had a category for rewatchability, I would probably have put Die Hard in it.
I think the Christmas factor, actually, I think the Christmas category has the rewatchability factor in there. And that's also what made me pick Die Hard, is because which movie would you rather put on for Christmas? I mean, it's got to be Die Hard, right? You put that on Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah, it's become a Christmas tradition for so many people. And I was actually talking to my friend Trevor about this earlier, about Die Hard versus Lethal Weapon, because he asked me, are we doing are we putting the franchises up against each other? I think if we did the franchises, Lethal Weapon wins in a landslide.
I mean, Lethal Weapon doesn't have...
Die Hard doesn't have Leo Getz. Come on, bro.
Yeah, and Lethal Weapon doesn't have... What's the last... Not Live Free or Die Hard. What's the very last Die Hard movie?
It was that, wasn't it? Wasn't that the last one?
No. Live Free or Die Hard is the one where they're in New York and when he's with the...
Yes, right here. They didn't have music.
Timothy... Yeah, Jesus, I'm blanking. The cyber villain. Timothy Oliphant. Yeah, I think that's...
Oh, yeah, I know the one you mean. I just can't remember the title.
Yeah, so the fourth Die Hard is a damn good movie. I really enjoyed that Die Hard. But the fifth one, that is when it all goes tits up.
Okay. Well, chat, let us know if you want us to continue this, because this is something that we could explore. If you guys want us to do Lethal Weapon 2 versus Die Hard 2, let us know. And if you want us to continue this matchup, I know Jarvi would be happy to do it. I'd be happy to do it. I'm sure Paul would be happy to do it because he has no say in the matter. But, there you go.
A good day to Die Hard. Yeah. A bad movie to watch. And you know what we could do? We could go with every... No, because there's not a fifth Lethal Weapon, though. Because I was thinking we could go...
We just stopped at 4.
Yeah, and then we determine out of all of these 4 matches, which wins as a franchise.
Yeah. Yeah. Works for me. So yeah, that's this week's class action. I hope everyone had a great holidays. Have a very happy and safe New Year. If you are going out, make sure you are with friends and you are safe. You are responsible with your alcohol consumption. I know that is rich coming from me, but yeah, if you guys want us to do Die Hard 2 versus Lethal Weapon 2, let us know or give us some suggestion in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video. You know, we're starting to get the numbers starting to go up on the channel, which we'd absolutely love to see. Thank you everyone for your support, especially to our patrons, especially Danielle Ramirez, Alison Salamoni, Brandon Buckingham, Brandy Parker, Jeff Alterman, John Lastrina, Kelly W, and Pardis Jestason. Shout out to everyone in the chat, Lego, Kelly, Christo, William, Matt, everyone who's joined in for this week. This was a lot of fun. It was really, really close. It almost got to nail biter. If we'd have had a hung jury on this one, I don't know how
we didn't have a sixth category. We did not have a sixth category.
We would have had to have gone to the chat. For years I've been in a debate between Lethal Weapon and Die Hard. Both of them were both in Christmas movies. Well, Franklin, you've got your answer right here. We've settled this debate for you. They are both Christmas movies, and it turns out Die Hard is the better Christmas movie. So, heroin and hookers.
Christo, you shouldn't tell our New Year's plans in public. You should not.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go book my flight to Estonia now. Yeah, shout out to all of our patrons. Trying to think, Jarvi, where can people find you while I look up this whole spiel that I'm supposed to read off?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Richard-Erik with a K Jarvi. You cannot find me on Twitter, but you can find me on Letterboxd. Follow me there, and I'll follow you back. I love seeing those little scores and those little reviews up there. I think Letterboxd, the end of the year sort of summary is coming out very soon. That is also always like a super exciting thing. You see which actor you watch the most, which director you watch the most, how many movies a year did you watch. It does like the Spotify rap thing, but I think it's way more exciting as Spotify. So follow me on Letterboxd.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to look at mine because I stopped filling out my Letterboxd for a long time. It's something I want to get back into doing. But I'll probably like do it.
Get back to it.
But yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Matty Gunner, Instagram Matty_Gunner. You can follow my band Mourner, Mourner, on all streaming platforms. Follow us on Instagram at Class Action Podcast, and also Holy Snokes Pod, which is the new Star Wars show that me and Paul are going to be doing from January 4th. January 4th is the first episode.
I wasn't invited.
Of the Holy Snokes podcast. We are going to be covering the Bad Batch season 2, which premieres the same day. I believe it's going to be dropping January 4th or January 5th. I need to double check that with Paul. But check out all the other programs on the PLD Projects Network. We have Two Mediocre White Dudes on Film with Paul Denuzzo and PJ Campbell, which is very entertaining.
Paul and
PJ Campbell. Have you've heard of that guy, right? You two. I thought you two were like best buds. You went to watch Avatar together, and no,
one good review doesn't redeem the dude. But it's a step in the right direction.
Just wait till Avatar. What were they calling Avatar 3? The Seed Bearer. That's a god awful title. But we'll get to that when that comes.
The Way of the Space Masters or something.
What else? Am I forgetting? Oh yeah, Crown Jewels, which is a podcast that Paul does on Queen. I think he's taking a break this week because he's on call, but I'm sure he will be back with that. I can't remember what song comes next, but yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in, checking us out. We'll be back next week. As I said, if you want us to do Lethal Weapon 2, Die Hard 2, let us know. Give us some suggestions in the comments. We will read them and try to convince Paul, because me and Jarvi, we're the men of the people on this show. We're not like Paul. We don't just like go off and like throw in categories and throw in random second movies like The Abyss just because our picks aren't going to win. So Yeah, shout out to everyone in the chat today. Shout out to our patrons. Again, I hope everyone had a great holiday season. Have a great and safe new year. We'll see you guys in 2023 for our next matchup. Until then, justice has been served.